Well, my name is Clara Bovens. I'm 23 years old and I'm a sustainable personal stylist. So that means that I started my own company and I advise people on making their closets more sustainable. So this means that I go to their homes and we do a closet clean out and we check all the stuff that doesn't really fit their style or their lifestyle anymore or their body type or what they look like, and we make up a new plan of a more stable style that's not affected by fast fashion. And then afterwards I give tips on where to buy this in sustainable brands or how to repair your clothing. But I also do photo shoots. So that means that in the fashion industry, for photo shoots, lots of clothing is flown over the world. And this is very, very bad for the environment. So what I do is I also use vintage a lot. And people can consult me for direct questions. So say they have a wedding or something, then I style them for the wedding. So that's really short summary. I did a PPLE, it's a study here in Amsterdam, it's psychology, politics, law and economics. And afterwards I thought, okay, this went way too quickly. I'm 22 and I don't know what to do. Then I started a research master's in public administration, organizational sciences, also not connected to styling at all. But I feel like I want to combine my research knowledge, so in policy making, with sort of helping consumers, because I think it needs to go both ways. Right now there's a lot of emphasis on consumers to make a change and to change their buying behavior, but I feel like that's sort of only the little efforts you can make, and it doesn't really end up in a great fashion change or changing the whole system. So I feel like I want to combine it with the more policy making side. So I try to within my thesis that's upcoming in January, where I'm thinking of how the EU can use its regulatory power to also change the fashion industry, because the EU market is kind of big. I can continue a lot and it's very dry, so I will not go into that at all. But I felt like I need to really combine my creativity with my knowledge, and this is sort of a little experiment also for me. And I really, really enjoy it. I think that the pace of the fast fashion industry is forever continuing. It's going faster and faster. Like a few years ago, it was just like you had fall, winter, summer collections. Now you have pre-fall, pre-winter. Now even every week, or I don't know, I think that H&M posts new stuff every day, and it sort of touches upon sort of the behavioral psychology of people. So we are always sort of engaged into looking better and making an effort even more, and you're always behind on this cycle. You can never be actually happy if you really join the fast fashion industry. And I feel like this is really sort of hard for people in their personal beings, but also for the environment, because the landfills are really growing. And I think sort of the marketing is so powerful here that we really need to change this whole ideology, I guess. So step by step, I wanted to join the movement because I do this as my hobby, but I thought might as well help other people. It's a hard question because in terms of setbacks from the fast fashion industry, I think what's really big now is greenwashing. So lots of brands claim that they're doing stuff, and it's really hard to check if they really do. So for example, since Rana Plaza in 2013, a lot has changed, and especially H&M or Primark or Zara really had to make an effort to sort of be more transparent on what they do outside of the EU, but outside of I don't know, countries with more laws on how to produce clothing. But I think it's really hard to check, and I feel the effort is not enough. Like, I think a few weeks ago, the Elle had this event about sort of making your wardrobe more sustainable. And and it included a goodie bag with like sustainable options, and there was this brochure from the H&M on how to repair your clothing, and I feel like it's really like these little tiny stuff that does not really in the end make a difference. I would advise them to look at a few websites or apps. You have Good On You, it's an app, it's an Australian app. It doesn't really work all the time for Dutch brand, that's really hard, but you have Milieu Centraal, on which you can check sort of the sustainability efforts of apps, of clothing brands, or Project CC. And also sort of, I don't want to be, I don't want to make it seem like I know better, because I think people know as well, but I want to show them, maybe I have also on my Instagram, I have 7 tips on what you really should watch. So especially if a brand says they're green, I made this whole sort of tip scheme of what to look at on a website, or what to look for. And to be honest, the most sustainable option is secondhand, which I try to always tell my friends, or do like an exchange of clothing, or bring back your clothes, or even tailor them, because I think a lot of people don't even think of tailoring stuff. And I must say it only started since a few years that I also think of this, but you can even like tailor your shoes, but now we're so used to like throwing them away. I think most of my clothes I get secondhand, and I'm kind of a fan of a 70s style, as you can see, so that's not really something you can buy in clothing stores now anyways. So I often search the web. United Wardrobe is like my best friend. And I really like the way that they sort of have this marketplace, and you can really see what things are put on there, like a normal sort of website. But I also think really a long time before I buy something. So I have the 2-week rule for things I see online. If I really like it, I sort of say to myself, you can buy it now. But I'm also part of a fashion library. It's on the Westerstraat, it's called Lena. And I actually get most of my clothes there, so I rent it for a week. And you pay a certain amount for the points you get. So for this week I got a sweater and a blouse, and it's I think €1 or 50 cents per day. So that's how I try to limit myself in buying lots of stuff, while actually being able to have sort of different styles. And I often really go to Waterlooplein on Monday and Noordermarkt on Monday. They have their new sort of vintage items, and it's really cheap, but also qualitatively very good stuff. I do not very often buy from sustainable brands, only if I would say I would need pants or a jacket or something sort of my basic kind of closet. The first thing I brought is this top. It's from Confidant Spirits. It's a Dutch brand, and they are a sustainable brand, and they make sort of tops and skirts and jumpsuits that are all sort of reversibly wearable. So they give you a description of, I think, 7 ways you can wear this top, and I really like this idea also in a sustainability kind of perspective, that you buy something you can do multiple things with. So I think this is, I really enjoyed this. I only have this for half a year, and I know I keep finding other ways to wear this. Every time I see this shirt, it makes me happy. And I bought it online from a girl on United Wardrobe, where I often check her store. And I don't know, I like, it's also again something you can wear in multiple ways. So in summer I would wear it just as like a top, but in winter I think it's really nice to put a blouse underneath or a turtleneck. And I really like the 70s vibe, and also all the little details, like here on the sides and the small flowers. So that's one of my key pieces, I guess. corduroy kind of pant, and I don't know, I really love the way that they're sort of flare, and I got them from an exchange with my friends. So I don't know, it also feels very, very nice if people are about to throw their clothes away, but you see something you would like. So yeah, I'm not sure what to say more about this garment. You can find me on Instagram. My name is Clara's Conscious Closet. I'm working on a website still, so if you just start following there, then in the end you'll see my new website up and coming. But feel free to send me any messages. I'm not on Facebook anymore, but if you slide into my Instagram DM, then I can always answer questions about sustainability or anything else. Yeah.